A lot of responsibility to go around, says Cassidy. This is what happens when depth scoring dries up. Next on Lockdown Golden Knights.
Your Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Start of a new week. Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco, marketing consultant at large and longtime Las Vegas sportscaster, along with Chris Golick, VGK season ticket holder, the collectibles guy, collectibles editor for the Hockey News. Got that all in. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure to subscribe to our Lockdown Golden Knights YouTube channel. Ahead on today's show, Brandon Saad, not sad, Saad, and we'll also talk about the salary cap increase. We're brought to you today by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com because why? Super Bowl 59 is here. So, 4-2 the final. VGK loses to the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden Center. Jack Eichel, a pair of goals for the Golden Knights, scoring. And the first game of a 4-game road trip does not start off well. And Cassidy swaying like he was on the Queen Mary during a storm last night afterwards. Feels VGK has to finish better, and they need depth scoring very, very bad.
Need a lot of things. Not sure where to go with that. It's Jack. I mean, I guess to start, where would this team be without Jack Eichel and the power play? Where would the Golden Knights be without those two things right now? That's literally the only things keeping this team afloat. And there's been pockets of really good play from a team perspective and other players doing well. Tomas Hertl had a long point streak come to an end last night. Dorofeo has been scoring at large. Kolesar, pretty solid start to the season, as Brett Howden did. But now this is all drying up, and so is the goaltending. So there's some concern, and how much of this is okay. It's still the January-February crap. Just forget about it. There's 3 more games till the Four Nations practice tournament, and then the team's going to come back and be great, right? That's what's supposed to happen. I've been telling everyone to relax, but it's tough. It's frustrating. Coach Cassidy's least favorite word, apparently.
Oh, he hates that word. Yeah, because I guess Jack Eichel had said that word, and then Cassidy just went off in the post-game presser. Just says that it's not a word that you want to hear. He'd much rather that Eichel had said he was pissed off.
It's probably a good thing that Chris Chapman wasn't there, because he would have started the presser with how frustrating is it, and Cassidy might have thrown a water bottle at his head.
That's great. So Jack Eichel, yes, the only scoring. Cassidy said that some guys have been in a slumber. Holy smokes. We've been in a slumber for a while. You look around, and so Barbashev, absolutely. Carlson hasn't scored in like 20 games. Howden, I had to throw that in there for you. Howden, 1 goal in 15 games.
And a bad penalty last night.
Yeah, a bad penalty, and he went perhaps the Luka Doncic route in that he just got fat off of that new contract. Sorry.
It's something we've talked about.
Got to tie it together, bro. Sorry, man.
Well, I guess Brett Howden's going to be a Los Angeles King then pretty soon, and the Golden Knights are going to get a used water bottle in return, because that's what that trade felt like. Yeah, I mean, it's all not working right now. It's all not working, and if there is any plus, it's all not working right now, besides the power play and Jack Eichel. And there's other things that have been working well too. So would you rather have it be a little bit uneven, where some things are working, some things aren't working, and the results are the same? It's losing hockey. Or would you rather it all go to spits, all go to crap, and it'll all get better at some point? And maybe you'd rather have the latter. Maybe you just want everything to go completely south. And I still go back to this, and I wish someone would have the whats to ask Cassidy this question about the complacency. I wish someone would look at him and say, when the team got fully healthy, you said there could possibly be some complacency setting in. I would love someone to ask him about that, and I would love someone to follow up and say, knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently then? Or what could the coaching staff do to remove the complacency? Because this is on the coaches. The coaches are the leaders of the team. There's a lot of vets. There's championship pedigree. There's championship pedigree on the bench as well. And I'm not blaming one person or anything like that, but at the end of the day, the coach answers for the team, the general manager answers for the roster. It all kind of rolls downhill, and it's on Cassidy to turn this thing around. It is on Cassidy right now.
The one thing
If it wasn't for
Cassidy
the
did
hot start, we'd be wondering if he'd be coming back to VGK after the Four Nations.
absolutely, absolutely. You're right. And it's okay. It's that time. We were concerned about this season a variety of ways. He did not use the that's hockey narrative in the aftermath
He's running out.
thing, I guess. Yeah. No, because you know what? He can no longer nonchalant it because they got to get at least 1 to 2 more W's before the Four Nations happens. You had an observation last night about Aiden Hill, and I saw a few of your breakdowns there. Some video of the way that he's been playing in net. Describe what he's been doing wrong.
What I'm seeing again, I'm nowhere near. I'm not the goalie expert in this town. There's other people you can go to for that.
No. Go ahead.
What I'm seeing
your
is
opinion. Sometimes.
No, but what I'm seeing is that Hill seems to be reacting to the initial shooter and over compensating. And when you go back and watch the goals that have been given up, like there's some bang plays. Let's be clear about this. That Rangers power play goal, it's a bang play. That passing was just spot on. It was great. Fine. Okay. Whatever. Moving on from that, is Aiden Hill doing enough to get himself in the right positioning to make these saves? That's one of the biggest questions. So when you go back and watch the power play goal, Aiden Hill is just keyed in on the shooter. He's on the edge of his crease. Panarin, it's not that Panarin gets this lethal one-timer off. He's got a great shot. He does. But he stops the puck. The puck jumps for a second, and then he gets the shot off. That's a lot of time. We're talking about a goaltender who put up the second highest save percentage in the history of the playoffs, not being able to get across the crease laterally. The K'Andre Miller goal here, it's a great shot. It's a great point blank shot. No worries about the shot that was executed. But Aiden Hill is protecting the near post after that pass comes by. There's no one around him. There's no one around him right now. The player that is to Aiden Hill's right is of no risk of executing a scoring play. So why is Hill on his knees and covering the post? He has to get his glove or his blocker up top shelf over an NHL shooter who's at mid slot. You're not going to react that fast. And then go back. I went back to the Stars overtime goal. At first, I was the Wyatt Johnson hat trick goal. At first, I was like, okay, it's a 2-on-1. What's Aiden Hill going to do? He sells out so bad to the point where Wyatt Johnston has the time to not just execute a one-timer, but to sweep the puck in like he's curling, like he's creating friction on the ice so the puck slows down. It's Aiden Hill is just not moving well. And you're starting to wonder now, is Aiden Hill a product of the defense playing well in front of him and he plays better? Because I don't see Aiden Hill as the goaltender that can win hockey games when things aren't going well. And if anyone wants to prove me wrong, give me some video, show me some numbers, show me some stats.
Interesting. Good take there. And for the Rangers, Mika Zibanejad, JT Miller starting to cook. 2 goals, 2 assists for Miller since he came back to the Rangers. The big play of the game. Alex Pietrangelo.
Blowing up.
That is no longer a minor ailment. That is a malady, folks. Right now. I mean, when the NHL, when you send out signals that a player is injured, what are you going to do? You're going to clock him.
You're going to crush him.
You're going to crush him. Will Crawley did. Right, yeah. Because now you know why they're so secretive in the NHL.
All the media is just going crazy about this. Oh, late hit. No,
what?
It's not a late
hit.
Not a late hit.
I didn't see that. Really?
No,
that's hockey, bro. That's
hockey. Let's check some boxes. Is it charging? No, he's gliding in when he executes the hit.
Man, what a
Is it a high hit? No, it's not a high hit. It's not head contact.
Is
he throwing a punch or an elbow? No, none of that happens. None of that happened. Pietrangelo made an absolute amateur play by keeping his head down. And this is part of a product.
Head on a swivel, right? Keep the head up. Yeah.
Listen, this is also a product of the National Hockey League, to be fair. There are very few players who finish checks. Me and Willie had a quick up and back this morning about it. Braden McNabb does that hip check all the time. This is no different than the clean and legal and also lethal hip check that Braden McNabb tries to execute and successfully executes many times throughout the season. So Pietrangelo, this is an amateur play in the National Hockey League. And Will Cooley's a big boy who throws his body around too. Will Cooley, this is not his first rodeo.
Not as big as Haig, but all in the same motion. He goes from just barreling into Pietrangelo Cooley into fighting that elite fighter we might add in Nick.
To be fair, Haig beat the snot out. Haig connected about 9 punches in that fight.
Haig won. He did. He finally won a fight. He's elite. He's an elite fighter now. We'll put him in that category. I don't think Cooley had any gas left after that monstrous hit.
That's fair. But
I'm surprised that Rempe didn't jump in. I thought Rempe was going to go after Haig.
God, no, yeah.
And Rempe versus White Cloud. Oh my! What is Zach White Cloud thinking?
White Cloud's going to chirp him and remind him he doesn't have any Stanley Cups or anything like that. That's that's White Cloud. He would have gotten
clocked. That would have been a mismatch. Right
White Cloud even threw a punch at him. It was pretty funny.
He did. He threw the right hand. He snuck it in, and Rempe was like, he didn't even move. Like it.
But listen, Rempe, I made a comment early in the game. He's not relevant. He's Ryan Reeves out there, but worse. Rempe drew the penalty that gave the Rangers a big goal last night. The Brett Howden interference penalty. Again, local media people are saying I don't agree with that call. No, that was a fine call. Yeah, it was interference. Was Howden trying to take him out of the play? Maybe not. Was Howden simply turning and peeling into the play? Maybe. But at the end of the day, that's interference. Interference.
Jack Eichel got a little fancy in this game.
No, Dorofeev.
Oh, Dorofeev did.
Dorofeev is alone on the goalie. I missed that
part of the game. Yeah,
he's alone on the goalie, and he tried to bring it back between his legs, and it's the right play if there's not a defenseman on him. It's the right play. He changes the angle. He probably would have scored a goal on quick in that circumstance, but when someone's on top of you, it's nearly impossible to execute that play, and this is a take. I'm glad you brought this up. You brought this up when the Golden Knights beat the San Jose Sharks. That was really the last kind of quality game that they had. Jack Eichel tries to fire the Michigan off. And there was something else that happened in that stretch in the middle there. And this ain't the time for flashy goals. And I know Dorofeev isn't trying to be, he's just trying his best to get a goal there, but keep it simple, especially when everything is going wrong. Let's start by not trying to score goals from between your legs.
Right, exactly. No, I could see that coming, and there's got to be some concern for VGK right now.
What does Cassidy do? What does Cassidy do in that locker room right now? All right, we had the comment about a soft practice after things were going bad. I know we're the time I see it, but
no. We went through
we have that. We have
that's hockey phase. That's hockey phase. Yeah,
it's what my point is.
Most
here,
useless word ever is frustrated. Don't use that word.
Exactly.
Say pissed off. Say pissed off.
We've had 9 narratives in the last 36 hours. It feels like, but Cassidy, where I'm ultimately going here is Cassidy is great in his press conferences because he gives you a feel of the locker room. He gives you he's not just out there answering fluff questions, not giving you a story. You can make a story out of any one of Cassidy's answers in a press conference. He's amazing at the way he discusses what's going on. I don't feel like I'm watching a team influx right now. I don't feel like I'm watching a team that has, I think someone put out there, I forgot who had credited them if I remember, but I don't. I think possibly Simon, I could be wrong, but the Golden Knights are the 30th best record in the National Hockey League in the last, I think, 16 or 13 games. I'm sorry, I don't got the numbers right in front of me here, but what is Cassidy doing? Is it simply, guys, we're going to get out of this. We're going to go back to work tomorrow.
Panic mode.
Well, the lines. I mean, okay, let's start with the good thing here. We're gonna go way long in this segment, but we'll make it up.
Go ahead.
The defensemen were all changed last night. The defensive pairings finally got changed.
Yeah. And Mark Stone on the third line last night.
Yeah. The Golden Knights gave up 4 goals. I could argue that 3 of the 4, and that's generous. I can argue 3 of the 4 can be directly on Adin Hill, and the one I would not necessarily hang on Adin Hill. Coach Cassidy talked about the shot getting through our goaltender. That was the power play goal. That was the goal that came from the left side. I think it was a power play goal as well. So you got McNabb and Theo, Hagen, Pietrangelo, Hannafin, and Whitecloud. Okay, let's go to our favorite hockey stat cards here for a second. Who did I say that line was? Did I say Hagen, Pietrangelo?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Okay. Hagen, Pietrangelo, that is the second line. Guess, Tony,
bottom two
players were on the hockey stat card.
Bottom 2, yeah.
Hagen, Pietrangelo. Noah Hannafin, third. Braden McNabb, 4. overall on
from the
top.
bottom.
On
From
top.
the top?
On top.
Well, Hannafin was back on top again. Give the guy a
But
pin.
he's with McNabb.
I know, right?
Is
Oh my
Petrangelo the
gosh.
problem, Tony? That's where I'm going here.
It's
Now
an
I'm done with the
ailment. It's
segment.
an
Now I'm
ailment,
done.
bro. Brandon Saad, the newest Golden Knight. We'll talk about him as we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Super Bowl 59 is here. One game, two teams, endless possibilities. We'll see a lot of memories made there. You don't want to finish second in the Super Bowl. They only remember the winners. And right now, the Kansas City Chiefs are favored by 1.5 points, and the total on this game is 49 and a hook. Make sure that you check out FanDuel, whether it's predicting the first touchdown, calling the MVP, or even betting on the coin toss. FanDuel makes it easy to get in on the action. With live betting all game long, you can adjust your bets as the game unfolds and feel the thrill from kickoff to the final whistle. The live betting feature, it lets you get involved no matter what happens on the field, and the app is so easy to navigate. Plus, knowing that you can place a $5 bet and potentially win $200 in bonus bets in the Super Bowl, that makes things more exciting as well. Download the app today or head to FanDuel.com to get started. Bet just $5, and if you win, you will win $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Bet with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Back on this Monday edition of Locked On Golden Knights from Las Vegas. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting. And hopefully we'll get the Super Bowl back in the rotation here. You know, I've been saying that by far was the best event, best executed event, I think, in the history of this city because of its mass appeal, right? 300,000 people come here naturally all the time to watch the game, the stinking game on TV. And now they can watch the Super Bowl live. We got to get it back in the rotation. Let's go.
I mean, what? Final Four, national championship for football, WrestleMania, Super Bowl. This is a pretty good sports city. This is a pretty good sports city.
Frozen Four. Don't forget about that.
Yeah,
next year. Yeah.
It's exciting what's happening here. And again, I know we had a rough segment about the Golden Knights there, but you start this all goes back to the Golden Knights. At least a lot of this goes back to the Golden Knights for starting all this.
Okay. So the new VGK acquisition, Brandon Saad, made his debut last night, and his goalless streak continues at 41 games.
It's been
for VGK. Long. They need some depth scoring. What's that? One for VGK. 0 for 1 for VGK.
Oh, okay. I'm like, wait, he hasn't scored for a while with the Blues? Like, what are we talking about here?
40 games. He hasn't had a goal in 40 games.
It's been that long?
I went back and go count them, bro. He had 7 goals in the first, 7 games or something. Oh, career season coming up. That's why they got rid of him.
Path to success here.
That's why they got rid of him.
I didn't know I didn't know the streak was that long.
He had dry November, December, January, now into February. Bro, 40 games. 40 games and 40 nights, for crying out loud. So they put him last night on the third line. Who was he with? Howden and Stone. 3 shots on goal in the game.
He had a hat trick on January the 3rd, bro. He had a hat trick.
Are you sure?
And then he went a long time between there, though. Like, he went, looks like 18 games without a goal. 2 goals against Buffalo on November the 14th, and then probably a good 20 games go by. Exactly 20 games go by, and he gets a hat trick against the Ottawa Senators on January the 3rd.
Are you sure?
Unless Hockey Reference is wrong, Tony.
Okay. I'm going to have to stat check that. In any event.
To be fair, it's looks like a 10-game streak right now when you count it.
Okay. So 10 games. Maybe I made stuff up. I embellished it. I should get penalized. Send me to the box.
He had a hit last night.
1 hit, 3 shots on goal.
0 for 2 in the circle.
Okay, so I missed that Saturday special edition there with you folks there. So where was he gonna eventually fit in with this club? 4th liner? Where does he go?
No, not 4th line at all. No, definitely somewhere on the 3rd line is probably what it's going to end up being. Probably on the 3rd line is where it's going to end up being. We'll have to see, like, when Carlson comes back, is he going to be the winger on that line? I don't know. Where did they mean, what a line blender last night, right? Yesterday was Saad, Howden, and Mark Stone. Pretty responsible line right there. Pretty responsible line. Howden and Stone, plenty of chemistry. Brandon Saad hopefully can hit the ground running, and we'll see what happens there. I like that as a place where he could possibly fit in. Don't get me wrong. We'll see if that's how it shakes out or not.
Okay. This is an interesting situation there. 1 hour after St. Louis had put Saad on waivers, picked up by VGK, cut because the Blues said that his contract became untenable due to performance issues, was not performing. So, does VGK get this guy again, one of those steals by McCrimmon, or is he another? Someone, I think, called him another Anthony Matha. I didn't say it.
The hope is he doesn't become Mantha 2.0. I think me or Condos might have referenced that in the show. That's the hope.
You did
that
too?
ends up happening.
Okay. How's Condos doing? How's our guy?
Life is good. He just got back from traveling around Europe all over the place.
Nice.
So as far as Brandon Saad,
he left his European trip, his European vacation, to be on that Saturday.
Yeah, he came home early. He came home early, exactly. Listen, what Brandon Saad can do well. First of all, he does have 2 Stanley Cups, both with the Chicago Blackhawks. He's done well in the playoffs. He has 103 playoff games, 55 points, 27 of those being goals. 906 regular season games, 515 points, 260 of those are goals. So he can score goals. He can score goals. When you watch a couple of his highlight packages on YouTube, just kind of recapping where he scores from and everything, he's a finisher and he's smart. A lot of people, and this is at the youth level all the way to the NHL level, when there's a scramble, everyone's mindset is let's get to the net. Let's all just crash the net and everything. Saad will do that when it's necessary, but he'll also just kind of sit in that soft ice and wait for the puck to squirt out and find him. And he'll finish goals left and right. He scores a ton of goals from each of the circles with a very deadly shot. He's got a little bit of that Alex Tuck in him getting through the neutral zone. He's got a lot of Dave Perron in him with his ability to change angles on wrist shots. Credit Jack Eichel for doing that last night, by the way. Used his speed to just execute a shot that Quick probably would want back, but Eichel made it difficult on him to make that save with his speed, changing of his angle, and using the defenseman as a screen. But Brandon Saad can do a lot of that. And it'll take Saad a little bit of time to hit the ground running and stuff. If he can do something in these last 3 games before the 4 Nations, wonderful. That'd be nice. But the team will have maybe a little bit of time to get reacclimated after the 4 Nations. I don't know if this is like a hard shutdown, if teams can still practice and stuff like that during this
Probably
time
not.
off.
Probably it'll be that'll be a shutdown.
Maybe
see
not.
some.
I don't know.
We'll see some Cabo videos coming out.
We'll see that, or
sure.
Pete DeBoer will get busted for practicing with the Stars. I don't know.
He'll probably practice with the Stars.
Golden Knights will get busted practicing. That's a bullet they should take. That's a bullet they should eat right there. They should practice.
They should practice and take the hit, right?
The
on
player should pull
penalty.
out too, because who cares about the 4 Nations? Anyway, keep going.
A $1.5 million cap hit, 900,000, I believe, about that left for VGK to spend on the open market. They could play shenanigans, right, and put Carlson on LTIR and have some serious money to play around with at the trade deadline. Something's got to happen there. They definitely need help, as we've mentioned before. Is Saad the guy? Is Saad one of those guys? He's a complimentary player. Is he a guy that's going to be the right fit for VGK, or is this just more or less an experience play too? But they definitely need scoring right now. Who cares about experience at this juncture?
One of the topics that we had in the Saturday, Chris and Chris, we finally did a Chris and Chris show, Tony.
It was Chris and Chris. Nice.
In the show on Saturday, what we talked about, is this a panic move? Is this a panic move?
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think it's a panic move as much as it is a value play. Number one, McCrimmon ain't done. Brandon Saad is not, we got Brandon Saad. Golden Knights are going to win the Stanley Cup. This is the move. No, it's not necessarily what's going to happen. The hope is he has the Ivan Barbashev type of season going into the playoffs and everything. Not likely, but that's the hope. The hope is he doesn't become Anthony Mantha, obviously. A Teddy Bluger type situation where he's a responsible player. I don't see Saad getting scratched like Bluger did. But a responsible player in the bottom 6 is where you're going to see Saad most likely. But Saad can play anywhere in this lineup. If they put him on the top line, he can fit in just as well as on the third line and embrace that energy type of role. He's not a hitter. not the win your races, win your battles type, but he's going to find soft ice and hopefully find ways to affect the outcome of the game more than a Victor Olofsson, because Olofsson's strength is obviously in the power play, not
Where's
necessarily
that guy
5-on-5.
been?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
No, he's on the milk carton as well.
That's another guy. Oh, I just put something on the napkin for tomorrow. We'll talk about this tomorrow, right? Why is VGK's shooting off kilter? A lot of off net shots. I know Cassidy alluded to it.
Talk about the high
Talk
shots.
about that tomorrow. Bad shots.
Yeah. No, we'll see if there's not anything that pops before then, but yeah.
Can we put that on the? That's on the napkin officially.
Put on the napkin. Back to the
Saad situation. Some big news will happen today because that's what always happens when we preview stuff.
The Saad situation.
5 o'clock. What about the big NBA trade, midnight Eastern time? I was like, is this VGK? Literally, I had to do a triple take. I had to make sure that everything with Shams was verified there for that NBA trade the other night. But
that's what everyone was saying. It's like they pick up the phone. Hey, we want Anthony Davis. You can't have Anthony Davis. What are you, crazy? Oh no, we'll give you Luka. He'll be there in the morning. Like, okay,
how crazy?
It's crazy. But real fast, back to Brandon Saad. Important to note that he walked away
Mitch
from a lot of
Marner
guaranteed money
for Jack Eichel overnight. It'll happen.
Brandon Saad walked away from a lot of money for this. Brandon Saad make the point that money, I forgot the exact quote, but it was something
money doesn't
about
matter.
Money doesn't create happiness at this stage, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then everyone, of course, compares to March or so. Like that's the most clueless.
His career,
frustrating take.
He's in the twilight of his career, folks. Like, come on, take any offer, play out the string, sign with another team at the start of next season.
Catch on. So
exactly.
Yeah. All right. We're good. Let's get out.
Let's wrap up this segment. Coming up next, the salary cap is going up. There's an increase. What will that mean for VGK? We'll discuss next, right here on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Back on Locked On Golden Knights, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Find us where you get your podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. Fridays, WTF. Saturdays, well, we just had it broke the string. There was like 40 Saturdays in a row before Chris times Chris show, the YouTube exclusive. So the NHL and the Players Association releasing cap estimates for the next 3 seasons, and significant increases here. Mr. Golick, a 25-26 campaign. It goes up, I think I saw 7% to $95.5 million, up from 88 million. Is that where they're at now?
88.
Something. Okay, yeah. And then 26-27, $104 million. Up in 27-28, just in time for a William Karlsson extension, $113.5 million. I had to throw that in there. I just want to keep you on your toes, bro.
I gotta wonder, I guess, first, is this dangerous times for the NHL to be making this type of move? I know business is going pretty well, but is it going that well? We're gonna find out as time goes on. Couple things about the cap. Number one, the cap doesn't just go up for the Golden Knights; it goes up for every team across the National Hockey.
But Canada gets jobbed, right? I think they get screwed.
With the
there's too many tariffs and stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, bad day for that.
Bad day.
But Canada teams are going to have great challenges. Teams that have the state income tax benefits like Vegas, like Nevada and stuff like that, they're going to thrive in all of this. I still say the National Hockey League needs to create an even playing field for all the teams when it comes to the salary cap, but that's another story for another napkin.
Another napkin.
But the salary cap goes up for everybody. So yes, everyone's going to say, oh, Vegas, McCrimmon, he's going to go crazy. Yeah, but there's other GMs that are going to do something too. Look at what happened last year with some of these offseason contracts. Players that maybe got overpaid a little bit. Stamkos, number one. Stamkos, I think, had estimates coming in the $5 to $6 million range. He gets, 7 or 8 from Nashville, whatever the number is. Marchessault maybe got a few more bucks than maybe what his market might have been. Chandler Stevenson got a ton more of what his market should have been. And there's other players as well that got paid as a result of an escalating salary cap that people knew was happening last year leading to this year, so on and so forth. So McCrimmon, of course, is going to utilize this to hopefully hold on to a couple UFAs coming up. Upcoming UFAs very, very quickly, both the goaltenders. That's another story for another napkin. I got some funny stuff we can talk about there. Saad UFA, Olafson UFA, Tanner Pearson UFA, Schwitt Lavoie RFA, and then on the defensive side, Nicholas Haig is RFA as well. So, but then Jack Eichel, 26-27. Mark Stone the year after that, Tomas Hertl, 2030. William Karlsson coming up as well. So it'll be interesting to see how McCrimmon handles it and what trades happen. They make this announcement now so teams can have some fun when the trade deadline does come. You looked at what the Golden Knights did last year. They extend Noah Hannafin right away, even though the team doesn't negotiate extensions.
They don't negotiate in season. Yeah, not during a playoff push.
They took on a large chunk of Tomas Hertl's contract because of the escalating salary cap. So this now opens the door for the Golden Knights to trade for an upcoming UFA because there's more money, or it opens the door for them to take on a seasoned veteran who has term remaining in his deal because the contract or the salary cap is going to be in the 110s in the next 3 seasons or something like that. It's a huge increase. We're talking like a 30% increase over the course of the next 3 seasons, or even more if you factor last year to this season. So it'll help the Golden Knights, but this isn't necessarily McCrimmon, locking the door and getting unlimited shopping carts and Toys R Us to buy whatever the heck he wants either.
Oh, by the way, 11 members of the Henderson Silver Knights attended last night's Vegas Thrill match. So that was cool.
The All-Star game. I'm like, there's no way 11 of them are All-Stars.
I think I saw Ron Bjork. I know it was Morelli.
Denisenko was there. Denisenko was there.
Denisenko was there. Did you see that on his story?
Definitely there.
On his Instagram story, you saw it. They started the Vegas.
I don't follow Denisenko on Instagram.
Oh, no, it's okay.
I should. I should.
You should we should start posting like baby pictures and all the cuddles and stuff.
We need a burner.
Yeah, we should. What does this mean for VGK? That's what we were talking about. Jack Eichel's about to get paid, right? Is he a free agent in
26, 27?
26,
so
right? 27.
As of this coming July 1st, the window opens to negotiate a new extension with Jack Eichel.
Okay, 12 mil. Where is he going to be?
Yeah, 11 to 12 probably.
11 to 12. He's worth it.
10 range for term.
He's worth it. Yeah, and
he'll be a 30-year-old when it expires. He's 28 now, so he will hit 30 during his UFA.
Some players are going to hit 40 with VGK by the time.
6 times 11 would be 5 times. No, the Golden Knights don't want 36-year-old wingers, so it'll probably be 4 times 11. 4 times 11. 4 times. A lot of growth in the NHL since the pandemic. That's why everything is ballooning here as far as the salary cap. And the CBA talks are going to be coming up pretty soon, next month indeed. And this is fine for the salary cap, but you know what the players want? Revenue sharing. So it's going to get pretty dicey there in the bargaining room for the players, NHLPA. NHL. Didn't the players get some escrow payments or something too? Didn't they get like a little bump change sitting that because they had to create like an escrow fund during COVID and all that?
Yeah, I think they get it later though. I think they delayed that
to make everyone nice and happy, right?
Yeah, they just want lump sums. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you so much, especially our everydayers tuning in around the world. We definitely are checking in on that map, that heat map. It's better than the hockey stat card, I'll tell you that. Better results, bro. And of course, don't forget on Fridays, it's WTF. Saturdays, sometimes the Chris times Chris Jr. show. For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We'll see you again tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights. And please take care.